Welcome to Sacred Conversations with Mandulo. We are here to recalibrate the nervous system and rewire the brain just through conversation. And today's topic is about money and how to reverse engineer the lack mentality of money. So I'd just like to open up this space to really be healing through conversation. We're healing our wounds that have come from generations beyond ones that we can know about within our DNA. We are coming to heal the bondage of how money has been tied from our parents' parents, from a survival point of view, from a lack mentality. And we want to reinstate the purpose of money. We want to recalibrate our lack mentality of money. And we want to draw ourselves back into the freedom and safety that money gives us, okay, or can give us access to. So here we speak holistically, okay, and I'm going to help you understand this from the wisdom of the body perspective, from the chakras, and then just practical life, but all spiritual lens. So because this is all energy, vibration, frequency, the vibration is you tending towards your focus or your ability to focus on the energy or the frequency or the energies towards that frequency. Okay. Now, money, like anything, will always have three energies. It will have the lack, it will have the abundance, and it will have the neutral. So the isness. So I'll say that again. Money has three relationships going for it. Like anything, it will have lack, it will have abundance, and it will have, it just is the neutral space. The neutral space is where we get to alchemize and change the mindset. Because when you look at someone who is rich, no matter how they got that money, and when you look at someone who's poor, however they don't acquire the money, it's all about mindset. That's why I said the mindset of lack versus the mindset of abundance, and the mindset that is neutral in creating abundance or the view of lack. Okay. This is that healed, the neutral space is where we want to come into, so that when we are met with aspects of ourselves that we didn't even know needed healing, we allow the alchemy to take place, okay, within the divine feminine and masculine energies. Divine feminine energy here is the unknown space, which is tapped into through meditative practices. What happens is sound comes through. That sound is an idea that vibrates and accumulates into our physical experience, right? So there's an abundance of thoughts that come through physical manifestation constantly, because we are constantly thinking. What we need to get ourselves into is feeling, right? And if we get into that state of thinking, then at least we are thinking from the state of the highest vibration of love. We are thinking from the deepest part of our alignment and from our aligned spaces. And we are thinking in abundance, really. right? Because we are abundance. We are thinking in the isness of abundance as we enter into that space. So this is where we go into nervous system, the purpose of why we need to recalibrate the nervous system and rewire the brain. Naturally, the nervous system has a healthy amount of stress required. Why? Because if any situation affects your sense of survival and safety, you will need to act. You'll need to respond accordingly to take you out of harm. If your stress levels are out of balance, you won't be able to take yourself out of that situation as effectively, at least, as you could if your system is operating in a more balanced and harmonic way. When we look at the nervous system, the heart, which gives us life, the seat of the soul, is communicating to the entire body, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. So there's a communication system happening through the body constantly. And the breath in and the breath out is the natural way in which the body will cleanse itself. Now, the mind, the operating system, this is where the rewiring needs to take place, the reverse engineering, because whatever you put into your mind from the heart mind that gets communicated, hopefully from the aligned space, gets physically experienced, it materializes. So if we have a system that is not in survival mode, but is in safe mode, then we have a body that feels free and we have a mind that feels free because we are in that neutral space tapping into abundance. Okay. And we're in that neutral space of if any lack comes through, like I said, from any unhealed aspects from what we don't know, then we know how to respond and alchemize easily. Okay. So before, from this physical manifestation, because when we look at the divine feminine energy, it's that unknown space, it's a spiritual space that needs physical representation from this idea. There's a joy in the physical experience from the spiritual plane. There's a joy in this. When we cut off joy is when we move in fear versus love. Okay, so we're reversing this. Now, depending on your lifestyle, the additional stress blocks the communication through the body. Okay, and when you're blocked through the communication of the body, you can't think beyond your ability to expand or your ability to self-actualize. When we look at Maslow's hierarchy, at the bottom, it's your basic needs. I'm going to try to remember all of them here. It's water, it's food, it's shelter, it's electricity, if I'm correct. I don't want to Google this now, but I think there are predominantly 5: water and air that you need in order to survive. Just your basic needs. I did mention electricity, of which it's not there. I don't know why I mentioned that one. But anyways, we are electric, so we do need a form of electricity. That this operating system is electric and at its healthiest and fully charged, right? Stepping into our power. I think that's why that came through. And that's a very weird way of how that one came through. Okay. So we now go to money and the incentive. So yes, let me just go back to the Maslow's hierarchy first and foremost. If our basic needs are not catered to, or if we are struggling to cater to those basic needs are caused and can be affected highly, or rather let me say are affected highly by lifestyle. Okay, that's why it goes back to the stress of the body. Naturally, when we came here on earth, there's a natural stress required to keep us safe. But because of lifestyle and fear conditioning, that addition to our lives adds higher stress levels. And then this causes an inability for the body to naturally help us cleanse and purify, which is through the breath in and the breath out. Okay, so if there's a communication breakdown in your body, there's going to be a communication breakdown in your life. So then we look at money. Whether you are poor or rich, it goes back to mindset, and it goes back to the survival. It goes into safety and freedom. But now you can be rich. Here's the thing I need to also share. You can be rich, but moving from we tap into this hustle culture, which is high stress levels too. So that's why you would have so many different sayings around money, that just because you have a lot of money, it doesn't mean that you are happy. Then obviously we got to look at what is it that you value, your basic needs or happiness, right? That's a completely different conversation from today. Let me go to money and the incentive. The incentive on the physical plane is giving you access to feel safe and to feel freedom, right? But I want to say that the incentive to make you feel safe and to feel freedom shows an imbalanced system, that your chakras, now we tap into the chakra system, that's imbalance, right? A more balanced system is, we now got to go, let's change the mindset and say the incentive, if you reverse engineer it, is to feel safe and free first. Then that's the incentive that gives you access and resource, that opens up the channels of money, without the bondage of the incentive, the access, the resource, or the form of exchange. But like I said, this is divine feminine experiencing itself physically in physical manifestation. Those two, masculine and feminine energy, are in divine union when you feel safe and free first, before needing the physical exertion of it, which applies to your way in which you go about gaining the money. Okay. So if you are in survival mode, you are in fear mode, which causes higher stress levels and inflammation in the body. And when you drop and reverse engineer, and you start with constantly feeling safe and free no matter what you do, then you go from safety mode into love mode. Okay. So here, think of an arrow that is going upwards. At the bottom, I wrote fear, and at the top, I wrote love. We are constantly on a scale of feeling the highs and the low of the energy that alchemizes any fear and low vibrational energy into the highest vibration and aligned energy, from imbalance to balance, love. The process of this transition is the alchemy, which requires transformation and integration. Okay, let me just write that down, because that just came up. Okay, so alchemy is a process of transformation and integration, but it needs two things. It needs mindset and it needs focus, which goes back to energy, vibration, and frequency. Okay. So when we have the imbalanced way of looking at money, we go, money gives me freedom and safety. When we go to balanced, we say, I feel safe and free, thus money is a form of exchange. Because our survival mode is connected to our fear mode, the conditioning with all these sayings like money is the root of all evil, people who are rich are unhappy, you start to engrave in your mind, if you grow up with your parents saying, I don't have money, it imprints into your mind these narratives and these conditions that they project onto you, in addition to your generational curses that you've come to also break here on earth, right? So it's like this double whammy. And if you are in fear versus tapping into abundance or the neutral space so that you know how to alchemize any lack, then you're going to be stuck in this place, very rarely getting into safety mode and love mode, right? And depending on the system, your system, are you in survival mode or safety mode? It will depend on your ability to focus and change your mind. Okay. So what needs to happen here is you need to change your mind to safe and freedom, so that when lack comes, you know how to alchemize any low vibrational energy into love. The relationship with money. Now, it's the imbalanced masculine and feminine that we're talking about. We say, so I drew a line here, and on the left I said safety, and the other on the right I put freedom. Now, lack of or feeling out of control. So when you are in lack or feeling out of control, you aren't going to feel safe. Or let me rather say this. If you feel lack or out of control, what you are going to try to do is control safety. Yeah, that's the thing. Okay. So remember I said safety on the left, freedom on the right. If you lack control or you feel out of control, you are going to try control safety. But ultimately, when you're trying to control safety, because naturally freedom and safety go hand in hand, and safety creates freedom, which is abundance, you start pushing it away. Freedom starts feeling caged because it is limited to the amount of freedom it can express itself. The many versions of you that have so many different desires to be expressed here on earth, right? This is when there's an imbalanced masculine and feminine energy. When it's balanced, it feels in control, it is safe, therefore it draws freedom towards it versus pushes it away from it, because when freedom feels freedom, it just is. So that's why it is important to recalibrate your nervous system, to rewire the brain towards love, connection, freedom, and safety. So ultimately what needs to happen is simply a mind reframing that says, I am tapping into abundance by being safe and feeling safety and freedom. So when it comes into my presence, I know how it feels like. Okay, so that would be a physical body act 2, together with affirmation resets for the mind, subconscious mind reprogramming, and then changing your mindset and focusing all of your attention on love. Knowing how to alchemize as you transform through the changes of the breath in and the breath out. Okay, so tap into, I feel safe, I am free, I am love, I am connected, those affirmations. Recalibrate your nervous system. If you need assistance, message me. And we'll get you there into that space of just feeling freedom and safety, because ultimately that's what you want. And no matter in what shape or form it takes, as long as you feel that, that is what we are all, quote unquote, hustling for and chasing. Okay. But now you know you don't need to, because you can just reverse engineer it and feel safe. So, beginning of everything that you do, start into prayer, do your visualizations of feeling safe and free, feeling the abundance of the existence of you, realigning your chakras, finding divine union within your divine feminine and your masculine, stepping out of lack mentality and finding out what lack beliefs do I have, what was repeated to me in my life around money that I am also adding to what my parents' fears were, so that when it comes to money as a form of exchange, it feels freeing and it feels safe. So I don't have to force it or chase it. I can magnetize it, because I become that which I am seeking. And that which is seeking you, that which you are seeking is also seeking you. So when you become a vibrational match, you tap into, what does safety and freedom, love and connection feel like? What frequency is that? What am I doing? Who am I with? Where am I? That taps into the deepest frequency of love and alignment, divine union, abundance, and at least neutrality, to understand how to alchemize when any lack mentality steps into your sphere. So please do like, share, and subscribe this page or this channel and this particular topic as well, so that we can learn how to move with more empathy around, money and the love and relationship that it was here to help us exchange here on earth. Okay, we also using it as a form of exchange, but we can't limit it to the only form of exchange as well. Okay, so once again, if you would like to work with me to recalibrate your nervous system, to rewire your brain, to help you with the rebirthing ceremony, so that we can really, on the physical body, also shift and cleanse deeply, so we hit a reset. And yeah, it's just one-on-one coaching. So please do get in touch, and I will be in touch very soon as well.